Make sure that shot's perfect, boy.
Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts. It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute for sure. Just been a working man lately, working like 6 days a week. My job, as of course this is not my job. This is clearly something I do on the side for fun, and yeah, I've been working a lot, like 6 days a week, trying to make that bread, trying to make that butter, trying to support my family, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you got to make time, for the things that, for the other things that are important to you, things that make you happy, or things that give you a certain creative outlet, things like that. You can't lose yourself too much to work, I suppose. But here we are, trying to do what I can with my time, because at the end of the day, there's certain things that we just certain situations we don't choose to be in, or certain things happen that we don't choose, and we really can only do what we can with the time that is given to us. Gandalf said that, so it's true. I'm just trying to make the best of my time, and so yeah, and forgive me if I'm a little out of, I don't know, if I'm stumble over my words a lot. I haven't done this in a minute, okay? It's been like 4 months, okay? So let me try to get back in the swing of things. And yeah, happy Memorial Day, everyone. That's what this episode is. Happy Memorial Day. Now, it's actually not Memorial Day, because I am recording this in advance, because I just got to start. I want to try to start getting on a consistent basis with these. I really want to get back into these and videos in general, all summer long, hopefully. Got to really commit and dedicate, that time to it, whatever time I have. And if that's what I got to do, pre-record some things ahead of time, that's what I'm going to do. Someone gave me the idea the other day to maybe start a Spotify, start putting stuff on Spotify. So maybe after this is uploaded, look for that link in the description. If that's how Spotify works. I've never used Spotify in my life. I assume I just leave a link to my page, my channel, whatever it's called. My podcast. I don't even know if you would call this a podcast. Regardless, if you're tuning in, I thank you and I appreciate it. Whether you're just family or friends or whatever, at the end of the day, I always say, I do these for me anyway. So, but if you watch and show a little love, it does mean a lot too. So thank you. But yeah, so today I wanted to do a Memorial Day episode and talk about Memorial Day, because why not? Because it's Memorial Day is coming up. It's Memorial Day, and it's one of those holidays that's just like, cool, no school or something, even though I think school's already out pretty much by now, but no work, yay. Long weekend, yay. Barbecuing, yay. Drinking beer, yay. I don't know, partying, what you would normally associate with Memorial Day, what I've, I guess, associated with Memorial Day. In fact, oft times Memorial Day comes around and I actually don't even know what it's for. I forget what Memorial Day even is. I used to confuse it with Veterans Day. Shame on me. And although they are very similar, but I used to be like, well, what day is it? Memorial Day, Veterans Day? What? What are we doing? Who are we celebrating and remembering? So this year I really wanted to actually think about it. Give some time to what it is supposed to be for. And Memorial Day is to commemorate or remember lost and fallen soldiers. in this country. I don't know if there is a Memorial Day for other countries. I assume there's got to be. Let me just look that up. A lot of this is going to be off the cuff. I didn't, want to super prepare for this. And in fact, it's actually extremely off the cuff. It's very last minute. The next Deep Thoughts, though, it's got a lot of work into it. I've actually been working on it since my last one. It's just, that's how little time I've had to work on it. So it'll be a really big, in-depth one. And, but sometime we can just go natural, baby. We're doing it live. Where's that old meme? Nobody talks about Bill O'Reilly anymore. Wasn't he a sex predator or something? Do other countries, let's just use Google, to look this up real quick, have Memorial Day? Memorial Day holiday remembers the war dead of most recent conflicts in other countries, of course. South Koreans observe Memorial Day on June 6th, the same month that the Korean War began, to honor servicemen and civilians who have died for their country. So, yeah, so a Memorial Day, that's what it is for. And in America, I had to look it up. According to historychannel.com, Memorial Day started because of the Civil War after the Civil War ended, specifically in northern states, people began to, bury the soldiers. First of all, it started the first national, cemeteries for America. They bury the soldiers, and on a specific day, which I can't remember what it said, the first one. Just after the war ended and started burying the soldiers in the spring of 1865, basically they would visit those grave sites and put flowers around them and things like that. It says here, Americans in various towns and cities had begun holding springtime tributes to these countless fallen soldiers, decorating their graves with flowers and reciting prayers. It wasn't until later on, on May 5th, 1866, was chosen to be the first Memorial Day community-wide event. And they called it Decoration Day. And General John A. Logan, he called for a nationwide day of remembrance for Northern Civil War veterans. So, like I said, it kind of started as really a way to commemorate the victory of the fallen soldiers, of the winners of the Civil War, really. And it actually says here that the southern states celebrated specifically on a different day, and didn't converge until later on, to World War I. Got the good drinketh here, the good cuppeth. Drinking a fine Kona blend. Kona coffee. It's Hawaiian. I thought about doing coffee reviews. Man, that would just make me the most boring YouTuber ever, huh? Coffee podcast, right? Anyways. So, then later on, it became May 30th. And at the end of May, and it was called Decoration Day instead. And on the first Decoration Day, it says here, General James Garfield made a speech at Arlington National Cemetery, and 5,000 participants decorated the graves of the 20,000 Civil War soldiers buried there. 20,000, man. Because remember, if you think about it, and I remember being taught this in history, but it doesn't, sometimes it just don't hit, that was the bloodiest conflict, for one in American history. And I don't know, is it the bloodiest Civil War? Maybe not the bloodiest Civil War, but 20,000, man, people died in the Civil War. Over 20,000, just Americans killing Americans. It just really shows you, that could happen. That could happen any time where Americans just start killing Americans. Civil War could be right around the corner. So, Memorial Day got bigger and expanded more after World War One. Where America entered in a conflict, outside of America, of course, with another country, which, rings kind of different. That brings all Americans, of course, Northern and Southerners together, as their children are sent off to another country, to die. Not to die, to defend their country. So after World War One, that kind of made, I think that's what after, when it was called Memorial Day. Don't know about that for sure, but yeah, after World War One, more people began to kind of celebrate Memorial Day with new fallen soldiers and a new time, in our country, and then of course with World War II, not too far after or too long after, and so now every war, that's kind of gathered up those veterans, whether it be the Iraqi War or Vietnam War, those soldiers who we've lost, who were just, like I said, just enlisting to do what they believed was best for their homeland, for their families, to protect what they, something they believe in, whether it be freedom or Constitution, things like that. Those people knew the risks and gave their lives, and that's, who the people we were trying to think of on Memorial Day. And for, the future past soldiers, the future dead soldiers, the ones who are, yet to do those things and will inevitably do those things as we continue this path in life of conflict and war, and, with our homeland possibly being threatened, our families being threatened. There will, may come a time again where, people will undoubtedly again enlist to defend the things that they love and hold true and believe in. Now, of course, there's people that just sign up for the military just because for school or whatever, because a recruiter convinced me, and I feel like that's, was, I don't know, man. I feel like that was more of a thing with Vietnam. After Vietnam, it just seemed like they just threw everybody out there. Like, I've read stories, specifically oral histories that are written by a good friend of mine, who's a Vietnam veteran, and he's written oral histories and about like World War II veterans, and just interviews with them, and the things that they talk about are just so much different than what you hear about Vietnam, post-Vietnam veterans talk about. And a lot of World War II veterans were, very much so in the mindset that they were saving, I don't want to say the world, but they were literally like, we had to do what we had to do. That was a situation where it's like, they were so, I don't know if inspired is the word, or they were just so fueled by the love of their country and their fellow Americans and everything that they were willing to literally die. And they was, and like I said, in interviews, World War, II veterans, will plainly admit that. Like, I knew I could have died any moment, but I knew what I was doing was right, Whereas like Vietnam, it's like you get a lot of veterans who are like, will admit that it wasn't right what they were doing, and maybe they didn't know at the time, but they found out kind of after, with the scandalous things that happened during the Vietnam War, which I'm still always learning about, new things all the time. It's not as much, there's still some of the patriotism there, but it feels like it dropped off, a bit with the Vietnam War. It was a lot of people just kind of joining the war to join the war, or, or drafted. Was there a draft for, the Vietnam War? See, these are the things I don't even know. These are the things I don't even know. Yeah, they did, right? There was a draft. Yeah, on December 1st, 1969, the Selective Service System of the United States conducted 2 lotteries to determine the order of call to military service in the Vietnam War for men born from January 1st, 1944 to December 31st, 1950. It was the first time a lottery system had been used to select men for the military service since 1942. Yeah, so there was a draft. And I don't know, like I said, there even, you know, being there was a draft for World War II, like I said, it seems like veterans were more behind that than they were Vietnam. But regardless, and going forward into the future, you know, I've heard similar things with being in the Middle East, and a lot of veterans don't agree with that, and that's where we've been for the last 2+ decades. And so Memorial Day is to remember all of those people, regardless of, personally, how I feel, regardless of why they joined or why they did it or why they gave or their life, you know, during war. Because that just is still an enormous amount of bravery that I just can't understand. I can't. I don't know if I could ever do the same. And I've always thought that. And still to this day, even with, you know, the more time I try to give to learning about these wars we've had and our veterans and how our military works, and, you know, I still just don't know if I could do it, man. If I could, you know, really go to war. Like, I'd have to know, I don't know, I'd have to know it was, 100% for sure to save this country or the world or something, you know. It'd have to be to stop a Hitler or something, you know. Otherwise, I might pull Muhammad Ali, you know, and dodge it, because, which sounds cowardly, but, jeez. Is it though? You know, I don't know. But regardless, those people who did make that choice or decision, or maybe, you know, lack of decision, but still, once again, gave, you know, their life. They're people to give a moment to, you know, give a moment of silence to really just reflect on it, you know, analyze it a little bit in the situations. And it's so easy. You know, I've grown a lot in a lot of ways, but one of the ways is respect for veterans and people in the military. It's something that I always thought I did, but really wasn't doing, and I didn't realize it for a while. It's just these last couple of years I've realized I've been doing it, because it's so easy to be like, well, yeah, I respect everyone in the military, and yeah, people in the military, but I hate this country, and I hate this, and I hate the flag, and I'm going to burn the flag, and I'm going to do this and that, and I'm going to kneel during football games, and blah, 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 without really thinking about what you're saying to those people. It's hypocritical. It's, you know, it's counterproductive. You're taking back everything you said good about veterans in a way. And I didn't realize I was doing that, because I was definitely one to go on Facebook a few years ago and just, you know, say certain things without regard to how it was actually sounding to veterans and things like that. And mostly it was because I wasn't talking face to face with any veterans. I was just posting my thoughts on Facebook, where a bunch of other millennials who aren't in the military would agree with me and like my status, and they did, you know. And when somebody would check me on the whole, like, well, it's disrespectful to our soldiers, I'd be like, well, our soldiers haven't even defended this country since World War II. What do you mean? But that's not the point. The point is, they are doing what they believe is to defend our country, whether I've learned that it really wasn't or not. You know, the soldiers who, or the people who wanted to sign up for the military after 9/11, who were inspired to fight back because they felt incredibly hurt, you know, by watching their fellow Americans be terrified and killed on TV and things like that, and falling from a tower. And, you know, those people who wanted to join the military to kick a little butt, you know, I'm not mad at them. Even the things that I've learned now, I'm sure a lot of them are kicking themselves too, the things they've learned now, you know. You know, I'm not mad at them. you know, a lot of people felt that way. So you got to understand that, and you got to respect that. It was easy for me to be like, well, but I do also love our veterans and respect our veterans. But I was also very quick to be like, but F this country, you know. I very so much had that attitude, and we need to come to a place, and this is where I've gotten to now, that these people, whether it be the police, whether it be the military, these people are joining these and enlisting in these groups because they really do. I believe a majority of them believe they are doing it for good and to protect their families and their friends and just this whole country, you know. So we have to keep that in mind. You have to be respectful of that and understanding of that to truly appreciate these people who do inevitably give their lives for us. Yeah, man. So yeah, I just hope everybody is really thinking about the things that they're saying, and if you really truly do value our military and the things that they are trying to achieve when they're joining, and when they do lose their life, try to respect it more. You know, try to watch what you say on social media. Try to remember that a lot of the problems that we are having and seeing in this country and in this world are not the fault of what am I trying to say? The people who are the normal everyday people who are involved. You know, it's not necessarily the fault of your neighbor veteran, or, you know, like some veteran or whatever, you know, that you might know, or just our soldiers in general, for the chaos that's happening in the Middle East. You know, that's higher up. They're following orders. So just remember to pick your targets carefully. And like I said, there's a reason why soldiers were feeling quite disrespected by Colin Kaepernick kneeling, you know. Although I don't disagree with Colin Kaepernick, but I didn't understand why veterans were so upset about it until I really thought about it. And then I'm like, okay, there's a time and place for that stuff, and we need to watch what we're doing and how making certain people feel who are getting caught in the crossfire. Like I said, veterans. If veterans are feeling a certain way by your words, and you claim to not be targeting your words towards them, then maybe you need to change your words, or pick them more carefully to make sure, you know, that certain people aren't feeling like they're in the crossfire and aren't being appreciated and things like that. For military, for law enforcement, for firefighters, for doctors, for everybody who, you know, is, you know, putting themselves on some sort of line to help their community and their fellow Americans and their fellow human beings. So that's what I'm going to do this Memorial Day. Yeah, I'm going to grill. I'm going to throw down. I'm going to throw down on some steaks or burgers or brats or something. Sure. You know, I'm going to mow the lawn. I'm going to do dad stuff. But I'm going to take a special amount of time to really reflect on the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of soldiers and people, farmers and factory workers and truck drivers and all these people who ended up joining the military and ended up just dying, which is, death is something I've been struggling with as of late, as it's been just around a lot, it feels like. And, you know, when I think about, like I say, these soldiers who go to another country and they got gunfire all around them and bombs and explosions, and you just don't know when it's going to end, and all of a sudden the bullet gets you and you're just done. I don't know, man. It really hits hard now. It really hits hard now. When you really think about it, it should hit you hard. I don't see how you can move about your day and go back on Facebook and being like, our military, blah, 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 da, da, da. when you really, really think about the individuals who are involved. And that goes across the board for everything. So I think that's going to do it for this episode of Deep Thoughts. And I hope everyone has a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe. Create good memories with your family, with your friends. I'm going to try to be productive. And hopefully you'll see more of these around. Thank you to those who watch and tune in. And if you don't, I'm going to do it anyways. Remember to think freely, think often. Love you guys. Until next time.